Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to share with you my 3 favorite ways of making my percussion more interesting and unique in my beats. Sometimes as producers, I feel like we get caught up in all of these rules about what it is that we're supposed to do and what we're not supposed to do. Like if we're making a beat and we're looking for a hi-hat sound, then the first thing we'll do is type in hi-hat or scroll through our sample library and look for something that's labeled as a hi-hat. But really, in theory, anything could be used as a hi-hat as long as it has a similar sonic profile to a hi-hat. So this is an opportunity for us to get creative by sort of opening up that criteria a little bit, and we can get some more unique sounding beats by employing this principle. Right? So let's say that we've got a kick and snare thing happening here like this. It'd be really easy for us to just kind of drag in our favorite hat, right, into a sampler, and then, we make a new MIDI clip, and then just call it a day, right? So instead of working that way, let's find something else that we could use instead of, our standard hi-hat sample. How about some silverware? So now we can take this little percussion loop that we just recorded with the silverware and throw it in a sampler. So this is what it sounds like, on our keyboard. It's pretty cool, but once we start adding some saturation, and then we'll, high pass a little bit, really focus it in that upper end of the frequency spectrum. Now we're getting something kind of cool. And the really cool thing too is that when you are sampling this way, you can change the timing based on the key that you're pressing. So let me show you what I mean. And it automatically sounds a bit more organic and unique than just using a normal hi-hat sample. It basically does the same job as a hi-hat, but now we're just using something more uncommon and organic, and it gives it a different feel. So what I'd like to emphasize here is that any sound can be used for any purpose as long as it has a matching sonic profile to what you're after. So in this case, in the beginning, we wanted something that was on the higher end of the frequency spectrum, and we just ended up using some silverware clanking together, and that got the job done, but we could have easily used anything. The more creative you get with the source of what that sonic profile is, the more unique and interesting your beats will become because of that, because nobody else has the exact sound that you ended up using. In the past, I've talked to you guys a lot about changing up your process so that you can arrive at a different sort of creative solution. And I think the basic process for most people is to search and search for sounds that they would like to add into their beats. But what if we kind of did the opposite? What if we started with loops and we started with sounds and then we just removed the stuff that we didn't like? And that's exactly what the next idea is. So let's say that we have something going like this. And just listening back to that, I can kind of hear that it needs a little bit of detail work. It needs some percussion, it needs some things happening in the rhythmic section here. So what I've done is I've dragged in a bunch of percussion loops from all different genres, from all different packs, and just, things that I think offered something different. And I also threw some fills in there as well. So let me just walk you through the process here a little bit. So I've got all these loops lined up, and I'm only playing the first one at the very top right now. And this is all within my drums group. So I'm just gonna play it. And this is the top loop that I added. I'm just gonna look for stuff that I like. So let's say that we just left only this first piece in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to unmute this second loop and play it on top of what we've got. Let's say I only liked this a little bit. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We just kind of cut it and chopped and moved things around as we saw fit. Keep going here. So here's what the percussion loops sound like on their own right now. And it might be a little overkill for, you know, an actual beat, but I'm just trying to illustrate the point that you can get a lot of different textures going, a lot of interesting elements happening in your percussion if you just choose to do more of a subtractive method. Another interesting idea for you guys to try is to take advantage of the capabilities for randomness and the features of randomness that your DAW offers you, because it will help you come up with ideas that you just simply wouldn't come up with yourself. So what I'm going to do here is press Command-Shift-T as always, create a new MIDI track, and then press Command-F, and we're going to find, let's use one of those Latin loops again. Drag it onto the MIDI clip. So now when I press a note, it'll play the loop. I'm gonna turn this down a little. And then I will change it to slice mode, so it's mapped onto my keyboard. And now, this is where the fun part begins. When I open up an arpeggiator from Ableton and put it on, yeah, let's do 16th notes. It'll continue playing the slice over and over again as I hold it down. And then what I'm gonna do is open up the random MIDI device. And I'm gonna insert that in between the arpeggiator and the sampler. And so now when I hold down a note, and I bring the chant up, it plays different parts of the sampler randomly. And when we play it with our kick and snare that I've got going here,